So Grithix says, Dev, I was there for the Dev versus the World stream. It was pretty fun, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was hoping for more fiery. Yeah, me too. Okay, listen. Hi, everyone. Listen to me, okay? I know that Lumi's in the chat right now. She watched through the entire Dev versus the World stream. All right? I have some very vocal haters out there. Mm-hmm. Some very deranged, irrational haters. Mm-hmm. None of them called in.
Of course they did.
None of them. I saw some of them in the chat of that stream. And they were saying all this, oh, the Dev's lying. None of them fucking called in. All of my haters are cowards, all right? Mm-hmm. They're all fucking cowards.
Does iDubbbz deserve to survive, though? I mean, really? Is Dev present? No. No. He was supposed to go shopping today. So I said, I'll just stream by myself, because I'm basically apolitical.
Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about how Short Fat Otaku, aka Dev, bravely ran from his own debate with me. A debate that he argued that he would be entirely willing to do within the comments of his own re-upload of the Dev vs. World stream, which was supposed to be an open-air debate, in which he claims he was upset that I didn't even bother to show up for. In fact, Dev has even gone on record saying that all of his detractors are cowards for not showing up, to a debate on a third-party channel that had relatively little fanfare prior. Now, admittedly, I did know about the debate myself, but I had work at the time. And thus, I simply couldn't make it. But since Dev claimed he was disappointed in me not showing up, well, then that's just automatic license for me to invite him onto a debate on my own channel, since he is clearly so eager and willing to debate a little old coward like me. I made a point of course, ensuring that Dev was well aware of the debate, including making sure that his own pinned tweets on Twitter were getting ratioed with replies linking my invitation to our little debate. I also set up the stream a full 25 hours prior to the debate actually going live, as well as providing community posts and polls to help maximize its reach, and ensure as much as possible that Dev was well aware of when the debate was going to be. And thanks to the stream's description providing a link to the Discord server that would be utilized, he would also know the location. He had all the information he needed, and there is no question that he was well aware of the impending live stream, what with him being as terminally online on Twitter as he is. And yes, he was actively tweeting in between the time of his own pinned tweets getting ratioed and the stream actually beginning. But of course, I know Dev, and I know there is a very significant chance that he might not actually be able to attend the stream. He might find something more important to do, at least as far as he's concerned. And so I was fortunate enough in finding a backup guest, who, by the way, thank you for attending again, the Tower Commander. Also, special shout out to an individual claiming to be Todd Howard, who also participated in the stream. Thank you, both of you. But as you could probably guess by that description, Dev was simply nowhere to be seen at the time the debate was set to begin. Where, oh where, was Short Fat Otaku, aka Dev, you may ask? Well, it turns out that Short Fat Otaku's channel was in fact live at the time the debate began, but it was actually Dave doing a gameplay livestream. And thankfully, Dave was able to provide some valuable insight. See, it turns out that Dev was doing something extremely time sensitive, something set in stone that he had to be busy doing at the time of the debate. More important than me going to work during the time of Dev's own previous debate on the Whick TV channel, for example. And what was this monumental task that Dev absolutely had to fulfill right then and there, no questions asked? What was so important that it was beyond the importance of the debate itself, that he was previously so willing to do, because he said so himself in the comments of his own re-upload of the Whick TV debate? Well, you see, Dev the Bold, Dev the Brave, Dev the Fearless had to go shopping at exactly that time. I know, a task that is beyond dauntless, beyond comprehension for you and me. A task that is truly the most time-sensitive of all. A task that even going to work is less important than, you see. For you see, while I'm a coward for failing to show up to the Whick TV debate because I had to work, Dev is clearly not a coward. Even though he himself has openly stated that anyone that fails to show up to a debate debate to which they've been invited to is a coward, he simply cannot be a coward, because that would imply he might be arguing in bad faith. And if you dare argue in bad faith, well, you will find yourself being banned from his free speech channel, you see. But just as I thought, this is where the story was going to end. A new chapter had been uncovered. Because while Dev was presumably shopping, it turns out he was very much active in chat. It just wasn't in the chat of my channel. It was in the chat of Mauler's channel during one of his gameplay live streams. Naturally, people were starting to ask Dev some questions. Questions about when he was going to join the debate. You know, the debate with me that he claimed to be so eager and willing to have engaged with only a few days prior, as shown by these comments here. And that he thought I was a coward for daring to not show up on the Whick TV channel because I had to work. Well, suddenly, Dev claimed that he was never interested in engaging in an honest debate with me. You know, even though he claimed to be all in favor of that only a few days prior. Again, in response to me not showing up on the Whick TV debate. Also, for the record, Dev has found a way to hide his own comments on YouTube from my main channel, but fortunately I am still able to see them thanks to having alternative accounts. Guess he should have considered that possibility, that he might get caught trying to hide the evidence, because clearly no notable YouTuber has multiple channels. The sheer thought of that is just madness. But what does this evidence suggest, the evidence that Dev tried to hide? The evidence that consists of Dev claiming only a few days prior that he was completely willing to engage in a debate with me, and that I was a coward for not showing up on the Whick TV channel. Well, it would imply that Dev is being dishonest, that Dev is being a liar, a coward, and a hypocrite. But clearly that cannot possibly be the case, because that would all imply that Dev is arguing in bad faith when he made those statements. And clearly it is beyond question that Dev argues only in good faith all the time, without any and all exception. Dev has never ever lied, you see. So him arguing in bad faith, well, that couldn't possibly be the case. Could it? I mean, sure, trying to argue that you can trust someone on nothing but their word because they would never ever lie to you and have never ever lied before. Well, statistically speaking, a liar is more likely to claim that they have never lied before than an honest man. And sure, the things that Dev claims are taken out of context include entire conversations provided verbatim without any abridgment or censorship. The sorts of things that make one wonder how that somehow counts as being taken out of context, when you know the entire context was provided because it is the entire conversation from beginning to end. The fact that Dev claims that that is somehow taking him out of context, and then completely failing to elaborate on how that could ever be considered as in any way taking him out of context, you know, because it's the entire conversation from beginning to end, well, that is evidence that would imply that Dev is a charlatan, trying to deceive his followers. But again, that couldn't possibly be the case, because Dev, the brave, Dev, the bold, Dev, the fearless, argues only in good faith at all times. And clearly, anyone that is willing to go on a debate against him must either be a coward for failing to show up because they had to work during the supposedly open-air debate that Dev so clearly claimed to want to have with them, but if they do end up setting up a debate after he claimed he wanted to debate them, well, that just makes them a deranged stalker, doesn't it? Because you see, it is nothing short of an act of stalking to dare to criticize someone for objectively bad takes, and to hold them to the standard they claim to hold everyone else to. Clearly, the truth of this entire conversation is that Dev never noticed the invitations that flooded his Twitter feed, like he's Harry Potter's uncle trying to prevent him from going to Hogwarts. Clearly, Dev just had to shop at that exact time, and also go watch Mauler's stream while at it. Kindly don't pay attention to the fact that Dev chose to stay on Mauler's channel for hours after having been informed that he was due for his debate with me, and also kindly choose to ignore the fact that he was busy instead arguing with the chat of that channel, because that would completely unravel the claims that Dev was just completely innocent and ignorant of this whole affair. But hey, at least the memes have been hilarious as a direct result.